Today on Locked On Phoenix Suns, Brendon is out, myself, Benjamin is in. What did we learn from Suns Nuggets? And do the Suns actually have a budding superstar? Let's talk about it next.
You are Locked On Suns, your daily Phoenix Suns podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up? Welcome into Locked On Phoenix Suns, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Benjamin Garcia, executive producer for The Drive on Fox Sports, 9:10 a.m. Monday through Friday. Thanks for making Locked On Suns your first listen on this beautiful Monday. And before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow, become an everydayer, and get Locked On Phoenix Suns every single day. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Start the season with a big return at FanDuel by placing your first $5 bet to get started with $250 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. This was a massive W game for the Phoenix Suns. You know, these types of games, you immediately look at the starting lineup that the Suns threw out there. Nothing but bench guys and players that you're not sure that they know exactly what they're doing. And you look at it, you just say, why would I turn into this game? Why would I tune into this? Well, it's because, very simply, there's a consistency that you need to see. This plan, this idea that Budenholzer's been preaching all off season long. This plan that they've had all off season long. We've seen it with the starters. They know what it is. Shoot threes, get out in transition. I trust that Kevin Durant's going to do that. I trust that Devin Booker is going to do that. So do you. I trust that Bradley Beal's going to do that. But let's just call it what it is. Before any of that, before talking about what those guys might be, what this offense could be, something emerged that was more of a storyline than all of that. I'm going to talk about Connor Gillespie. I'm going to talk about Monte Morris. I'm going to talk about your guys' favorite Bull freaking Bull. Can he actually be that guy? I don't know. I have my reservations about him, but what do you want me to say? I'm not loyal to a take. I'm loyal to the truth. And Bull, he maybe eat some crow tonight. Will he continue to do so? I don't know. But I was impressed with what I saw. But more than any of that, more than Bull, more than Connor Gillespie, we'll talk about all of that. The Suns have a budding star. When was the last time the Suns drafted someone and you thought right away, oh my goodness, that kid is special? Ryan Dunn has now entered into, oh my goodness, that guy is special. Say whatever you want. Oh, it's a preseason game. Why would you get so hyped up about that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because the entire team on the other side played Nikola Jokic, played Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Christian Brown was out there. Heck, Russell Westbrook is giving this guy his flowers. He went out there and stole the show. He was ripping balls away from Russell Westbrook. He was defending Nikola Jokic. This kid has no fear. It's why when Suns fans after the first preseason game were mostly oohing and ahhing off of Oso Ighodaro, it's why I was pumping the brakes. I will never lie to you. I'm not here to blow smoke. I don't do that. I trust what my eyes tell me. And oftentimes, my eyes don't lie. Sometimes I'm wrong, and I'm not loyal to a take. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to admit that I was wrong about things. I say it all the time. It doesn't bother me to be wrong. I was right about Ryan Dunn. Oso Ighodaro, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter too much. He's a second-round pick. Defensively, he's fine. Offensively, he's fine. Very good passer. And I like the future of Oso Ighodaro. But the Suns' season, the Suns' floor was not getting raised by Oso Ighodaro. I put it out on Twitter. I have the receipts for Ryan Dunn. I said it out in May. The Suns have to draft this guy. Because the Suns' biggest concern always was the wing position. Always was size. Always was defense. And what happened? He solves all of those issues, or at least makes them 1,000 times more fixable. Ryan Dunn defensively, stripping guys like Russell Westbrook. This is a former MVP. Playing Nikola Jokic tough. Shooting the three ball. He elevates where the Suns can go for this season. You know, oftentimes fans, and it's short for fanatic, and I get it, and I don't get upset with fans when they start to blow smoke about a certain player. And, you know, when I had said last week or a week and a half ago, or whatever it was, when the Suns had their first preseason game, I go, wait a second, that guy flashed. That guy looks good. And it was mostly an Oso Ighodaro love fest. Nothing against Oso. He's not going to change the complexion of the season. Maybe he allows them to be deeper. Maybe he allows them to be better, a little bit better defensively. Allows the ball to flow back and forth. A good, superb passer. I get all of that. And I'm not here to rag on Oso. I am here rooting for him just as much as you are. But the Suns had a clear deficiency last year. They didn't have a guy that can take other players out of games. They didn't have a guy that adds real depth to Kevin Durant. I had said months ago on Fox Sports 9:10 a.m., where I fill in sometimes, and every day I'm on the show as the executive producer. This guy, Ryan Dunn, can be what you need. This guy, Ryan Dunn, could be a starter. I said that in the social breakout clip that I put out on Twitter. This is not a look at how right I was take. It was a you don't get a lot of things to be excited about as a Suns fan over the last 15 months. Get excited about the right guy, Ryan Dunn. This guy is superbly talented defensively. The only thing at this point for Ryan Dunn that I worry about is, okay, well, he's clearly going to play a lot. There's no question anymore. Is the guy good at what he does? Is he a little thin? Could he get bullied? Is that just something I have to wait to come with time? Ryan Dunn changes everything. Not Tyus Jones, and I like Tyus Jones. Not Oso Ighodaro, and I like Oso Ighodaro. Ryan Dunn changes everything. The Suns' biggest concern last year was the wing position. It was not point guard. It was not the center position. They saw it, and they fixed it. Right now, Ryan Dunn looks like a budding star. You do not take over a game like that, where Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon were all on the floor, and save me the argument that the Nuggets didn't really care or they weren't trying. I watched that game. They saw the Suns come out with some fire and immediately turned it back up. Now, did they pull off the dogs? I get that. But from the 2-minute mark into the third quarter to the fourth quarter, that was all Suns. Do you know what kind of cojones, what kind of confidence you have to hit a dagger shot in front of your bench? And Ryan Dunn did that. He put this game away for the Phoenix Suns. It's a credit to the Suns front office. It's a credit to James Jones, who, as well as has taken a lot of crap over the past couple of years. The scouting, whatever it is. Because it's easy, like myself, a talking head, to say, well, look at this guy, Ryan Dunn, he's awesome. It's harder to bring him in and develop him. I did not think Ryan Dunn could develop a three-point shot like he did. And today he was marvelous as I struggled to pull up the exact stuff. 6 for 11 from three-pointers. If I'm not mistaken, Ryan Dunn had 6 3-pointers his entire time in Virginia. I tried to explain to everyone, you don't have to temper your expectations anymore. I'm the guy on this show that is willing to take the hits, that is willing to be honest, that is willing for you to say whatever you want to me, because I will be honest. And I'm okay with that. I know my role on this show. Ryan Dunn is changing everything. And it's why I said this guy could be a starting caliber wing player. At this point, I'm ready to bring back the Bradley Beal bench argument, bench take. I love Bradley Beal, but I'm willing to start that up again because Ryan Dunn just fits better in the starting lineup. He adds more size. Now, listen, I'm not going to actually stand on this hill and die on this hill that Bradley Beal needs to go to the bench. Ryan Dunn coming off the bench is perfectly fine. But it is just so nice to see the Phoenix Suns nail on a draft pick. There is no longer the argument or the question if this guy can play. At this point, it is how good can he be? Can he actually have a Derek Lively-esque impact? Not as a center, clearly as a wing. They're not the same player. But can he add the same impact to winning as Derek Lively did? Can he do that? Because if he can, this team could, without a doubt, win the championship. I've been the one that has pumped the brakes on this idea that the Suns are a championship contender. If Ryan Dunn is this guy, you can indeed be a championship contender because the Suns' deficiency last year was clearly the wing spot. And they got it. They got it. As you can tell, very ecstatic about Ryan Dunn. Let's talk about the rest of the Suns. They weren't forgotten. Monte Morris, Bol. Suns fans, this is your time in the comments section to let me have it on Bol. And you absolutely get to do that. And let's do that next. First, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. America's number one, not two, America's number one sports book. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Listen, my Arizona Cardinals today, for those of you who don't know, I am all Arizona out. There is no Padres on this show. Brendon catching a stray. I'm all Arizona. Of course, not the Coyotes anymore because they decided to leave us. But as I'm looking at the spread for next week's Cardinals matchup against the Chargers, I scratch my head and I get frustrated because they're going to be on Monday Night Football against Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert. That is a 2.5-point spread. I'm not so sure how good I would feel about that if I was a Cardinals fan. But what have we noticed about the Cardinals? They get blown out, but then they show up the next week with their hair on fire at home, at State Farm Stadium. This team could absolutely cover 2.5. So go ahead, check out the FanDuel Sportsbook app, the number one sportsbook app. Don't forget, put down $5 in your first bet and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. FanDuel Sportsbook, the number one sportsbook in America. All right, let's keep the show rolling. No, Brendon, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Well, Brendon is for sure the captain of this ship. It wasn't just Ryan Dunn tonight. I talked about the consistency of the Phoenix Suns. And I talked about that there is this growing idea of what the Suns should look like. The starters already do it. The starters have already done an emblem and exactly personified what the Suns offense should look like, which is why I was so stoked when I saw the lineup for the Suns: Mason Plumlee, Bol, Monte Morris, Ryan Dunn versus the big bad Nuggets and their starters. I was stoked. This team had an opportunity to do two things in this game. I'll start with the chemistry and then get over to the consistency. This team is infinitely likable. And you say, what does that have to do with anything? What is it? Here's what it has to do with. Last year, I'm not sure those players liked each other. Kevin Durant got on Drew Eubanks for the craziest of things. Just went after him openly in middle of games. Bradley Beal, frustrated with Frank Vogel, slapping away his hand, not thrilled with his idea or ideology of what this Suns team should look like. I'm not sure they liked each other. This gave the Suns an opportunity, and they capitalized it on every metric that they needed to do so. The guys on the bench, Tyus Jones, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, these guys getting ecstatic for these guys on the floor. They love these guys, whether it's Ryan Dunn, Monte Morris, Bol. They want to see these guys succeed. I don't remember that last year. The chemistry for this team has to start off the court. If they don't like each other, they'll resent each other on the court. You think that's silly, but it's not. That's how it's done. And that's what they did tonight. I loved the ability of Kevin Durant, of Bradley Beal, guys coming together, cheering on when Ryan Dunn hit that final dagger shot. And he's barking at the bench, and Kevin Durant's gassing him up, and everyone is just having a good time. And now those Suns starters, after seeing a game like tonight, don't feel like they have to make the most of their minutes all the bleeping time, because as soon as they come out, that bench unit from last year that was so nauseating to watch is going to come in and ruin everything. And that brings me to my second point: consistency. We know, and I've said this before, but let me just set it up again. This Suns offense and defense, even, they're going to play fast. They're going to play with tempo. They're going to heave up threes. Can the bench unit also do that? And just really quickly, it's what they did. This game looked exactly like what the starters looked like. They all did all the same things. Now, clearly, to a worse degree, even though they won. I'm not going to argue just because Royce O'Neal, Bol, Tyus Jones, I'm sorry, not Tyus Jones, Monte Morris had a good game, that they're better than them. But no, but can they do exactly what the starters did and be able to show, you guys can get a blow on the sidelines, we've got this. And in certain games, you're going to sit the bench the entire time because we're so on fire, because we know what we're doing, because we're a mix of veterans, Royce O'Neal, and young guys, Ryan Dunn, Oso Ighodaro. Veterans, Monte Morris. Bol's a veteran at this point. This is his fifth year, if I'm not mistaken. And Colin Gillespie. And then let's just zero in to two guys. Bol, we'll start with him. I had tweeted out something, and I don't like to delete tweets. Sometimes I do it because I misspell words or whatever, but I still have a tweet up on Twitter. And or X, and I'd basically said this. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was, I understand why Suns fans cannot quit Bol. Truly, I get it. He's lengthy, handles the ball pretty well. The passing is so-so. Had a couple of bad turnovers, shoots the ball pretty efficiency, but I had said, with pretty good efficiency, but I had said, I don't know if this guy is ever going to pull it all together. Tonight, he put it all together. If Bol can be the guy who comes in, plays a stretch 4, and is potentially a playoff rotational piece. I'm not bullish on that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I got ahead of ourselves with Ryan Dunn. Let's not get ahead of ourselves on Bol Bol because I'm not 1,000% sure it's there yet. But if he can do that, do you even really have to worry about Mason Plumlee, who we'll talk about later on? Bol Bol's ability to be long, run the court, handle the ball, and shoot three-pointers with a pretty good efficiency clip opens up everything on this offense. You could potentially roll out a lineup of Kevin Durant and Bol Bol, where Kevin Durant doesn't have to worry about hitting bodies with Bol Bol because he can't do anything besides shoot outside 6 feet from the basket. That clears up the hole in the offense. That clears up the hole near the basket, and it allows for more hezzy jumpers, players not being able to get doubled, getting to the basket, getting easy shots. Bol Bol, it seems like at times he's just up here too much. I'm all in for the Bol Bol experience. I hope it works out. Today was a clear step in the right direction. The guy shot threes with efficiency. The passing was, at times, he missed a couple of guys. That's not a huge deal. He's a big man. I'm not going to kill him for that. Handled the ball well and played with some real energy. That's what I had to see from Bol Bol. And that's what the Suns need out of Bol Bol. Not for him to be this amazing player that's going to come in and shock the world. That's not Bol Bol. Could he potentially take the backup 4 position or take Mason Plumlee's minutes and be a stretch 4 that clears the spacing on this offense? If he does, this team might be even deeper than I once thought. Let's keep talking. Let's move on to Monte Morris. The Monte Morris game. And a surprise player that for some reason I told myself I'm not going to buy into, but I think I'm going to buy into him. I'm talking about Connor Gillespie. Let's talk about it next. So the Phoenix Suns also had a couple of guys on the bench not named Bol Bol that balled out tonight. That's the only way to put it. Let's talk about Monte Morris, and even more at a granular scale. Let's talk about this depth, because tonight was a clear example of what kind of depth this Suns team has. They have a real ability to not only give the offense a blow, but they showed tonight maybe they're better than even I thought on this team. And if we're just being honest, Monte Morris tonight broke out. I don't know where the minutes are going to come from for Monte Morris, because he looked like a guard who can shoot the ball with efficiency, looked a little rusty at times passing the basketball. That's stuff that's going to get worked out, and some kinks that are going to get worked out. But he showed tonight why the Suns picked him up as their backup. And most importantly, the biggest thing from this bench takeover tonight, from Bol Bol, from Connor Gillespie, from Monte Morris, whoever it is from any of those guys, we had to see tonight, even if the whole game they weren't amazing, even if at times they fell asleep, we needed to see in this game, in a pinch, can they spot start? Because let's be honest, guys. Remember, I'm the realist here. I've been a Suns fan my entire life. And I've been an analyst for 6 of that, or analyst, whatever, journalist, whatever it is. I'm going to be honest. Always going to be honest. That's what's gotten me this far. Honesty and transparency with my audience. This team is going to get injured. We're just hoping that the injuries are few and far in between. If Bradley Beal played, 55 games last year? Can he play 65 this year? Can he play 62? Booker always has like a hamstring or rolls an ankle. Booker is not injury prone, but he always has something, like just something small during the year where he misses 2 weeks. Or Kevin Durant. Sometimes he'll sprain a ankle on a layup line. Hate to bring up old wounds, but sometimes that happens for Kevin Durant. Sometimes freak accidents happen. I don't think anyone's tearing an ACL, nor would I ever wish that on anyone, nor would I ever put that energy out there. But they're going to miss a couple of games, including Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones might miss a game or two. Yusuf Nurkic has been beat up before. What we needed to see tonight, and I saw it from 3 guys. We already mentioned Bol. He can spot start, or at least showed signs of improvement in his craft. Can Monte Morris start for this team in a pinch? Let's say you don't want to go the Grayson Allen route. Let's say you don't want to go the Bradley Beal, Devin Booker starting at point guard route. It's nice to have the option that your backup point guard can as well start for this team. And what I saw tonight, Monte Morris starting, was a guy that looked cool, calm, collected, had his 3-point shot, created some interesting and downright disrespectful to the other team passes. And sometimes he got a little cute with it. There were a couple of turnovers in there I didn't like. But I had to see Monte Morris show me at some point in this preseason, in a large sample size, in a game, of course, a large sample size in the game, not in the preseason. Can you be the spot starter for this team if called upon? I think I saw that from him. I think I saw that from Monte Morris. I followed this guy ever since his years at Iowa State. I have a picture with me and Monte Morris when he was with the Cyclones, when the Final Four was here in, I think, 2017. Smart basketball player. Smart, intelligent basketball player. Doesn't make a habit of turning it over. Good catch and 3-point shooter, if I'm not mistaken, like in the 40%. And then lastly, kind of something a little bit more fun. We as Suns fans always have someone that we fall in love with. Even if we know in our heart of hearts, they're not really that guy. For some fans, right, it's Bol, who knows at this point might actually be the guy that works out for this team this year and prove me wrong on all accounts, which I'm totally okay with. Or Oso Ighodaro. Maybe he is better than Ryan Dunn this year. I don't believe that, but maybe he is. I think I found the guy that I've fallen in love with, maybe because he's that small hooper, just out there trying to make a name for himself. Let me know if you feel this way too in the comments. I love that kid Colin Gillespie. He moves fluidly. He plays with so much confidence. He exudes everything that you love about that backup pesky point guard. And I'm going to relate him to someone who, it's just a lazy comparison, but that's what I see in him. I have to, it's just what I see. Kind of an Austin Reeves, TJ McConnell hybrid. I mean, I don't know. Is he better than either one of those guys? Probably not. Is he even going to start for this team ever? Is he even going to make the roster for this team? I don't know. But I love those frisky hoopers, gritty shot makers, passers. Doesn't know how he made it this far, but he has type of basketball players. I need the Suns to find a spot for Colin Gillespie, even if it's just in mop-up duty in games. But the Colin Gillespie, if I'm not mistaken, former Denver Nugget, and Bol revenge games came to play today. I understand Colin Gillespie didn't light up the stat sheet tonight as I pull it up. 12 points, 1 for 3, 4 for 7. He had an okay game. But those guys that can come in and just add a little bit of extra juice to your bench, those are the fun guys that you can have. If Monte Morris goes out, Colin Gillespie showed me he can handle a backup point guard in a pinch start role. Listen, all these opinions are subjected to change. Sometimes I go with the wind. I'm here one week and I'm here the next, but it's hard to find anything just awful about tonight. Here, if you want me to just be objective, I feel like I normally am, but let's be objective here. If we're talking about, and we're ending on a worse note, I do think the Suns still have a backup center issue. Drew Eubanks, I didn't hate the guy. I didn't think he was amazing. I thought he was kind of annoying at times on the floor. I thought he left too much out there on the court, but I didn't get too upset about it because he's a backup big. What do you want me to do? Freak out over it? I'm not going to freak out over that. Mason Plumlee worries me. Too many things that are supposed to be easy, he makes look harder. I'm not sure exactly what he does well. I'm not sure exactly what he brings to this team defensively. And I remember seeing when Mason Plumlee got signed to the Suns, a lot of Clippers fans, kind of similar to Suns fans with Drew Eubanks, very excited to see him go. Listen, I don't know. I focused a lot on the good today, but if there's one takeaway I have that is a little worrisome is the backup center position, which is easily fixable with the trade. Those are easy to come by. The wing position, not so much, but that might be fixed with Ryan Dunn. Mason Plumlee does worry me. And through 4 preseason games, he hasn't lit it up once. We haven't seen that Mason Plumlee play. And at times does things where I know he's going to drive Suns fans insane. Either way, amazing game for the Phoenix Suns today. Maybe the most entertaining preseason game. Went a little fanboyish on you during this. But if there's anything you took from this, Ryan Dunn is awesome. The bench looked great, and that might have been the most entertaining preseason game I've ever watched. Excited to talk with you guys again. Sometime during the week, you'll get a show from me and Brendon that we filmed a little bit back. I'm going to try to get a guest for you guys on this week, and you should get 2 more solo shows of me this week. Until next time, it's been Locked On Phoenix Suns. I'm Benjamin Garcia, and we appreciate you making us a part of your day.